Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that.
See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News, as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News.
Yes, we are literally at Mike Sanford's on his couch. We're on Mike Sanford's couch. We're at his house in Colorado. Welcome on in, the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. BJ Rains, Coach Mike Sanford, having a heck of a weekend and excited to be here with you. Little early morning edition. Mike's got some coaching duties today with the softball team.
Yeah, it's a big day of softball, but I'm excited just for what's going on in the Front Range here in Colorado. Kicked it off last night. We'll get into that here in a bit.
Yes.
Apologies for the bags under eyes that we currently have. I think we both went to bed. What time did you end up?
It was close to 3, probably trying to get this all set up, ready to go. And then 7:30 was up and at 'em, and we were 2 minutes late starting, so we're already getting some shots taken in our direction. Someone snoozing. No, we were very close. He's asking how much sleep did you guys get? Now, you live about, 30, 40 minutes. We're not going to give away your address here, but you're about a half an hour from Boulder, a little further from Fort Collins, only 30 minutes from the airport. You're in a great spot. And so I actually love the centrally located spot. You have a beautiful home, a beautiful family, and I appreciate you for letting me crash for the weekend here. But, made it over, got a chance to see the game, hung out, got a chance to say hello to Tad Boyle. We saw a lot of great people, and it's 29-0 at halftime of the Colorado Stanford game, and we're thinking, we're going to leave early, get some rest before the pregame show in the morning. It's all good, and then next thing you know, it just slowly turned around. But amazing night, amazing atmosphere. Mike Sanford hooked it up, got us up in the suite, man. Appreciate it, had a lot of fun, and it was a great start to the weekend because you mentioned last night you got Boise State, Colorado State tonight, which we're going to talk about, and then you got Air Force hosting Wyoming as well. I wish that game was like noon. We could have tried to get over and get down there and get back or something. But
the ultimate triple header of Colorado college football.
But what a night last night, man!
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's just wow. I mean, I personally have never seen several things that happened in that CU Stanford game. Well, personally for me, I mean, kind of an emotional game. Just having really, coached at both places. Stanford 2 different times that I coached at for a total of 5 years, and it's been a while since I'd been a part of a Stanford game, and so you have these emotional connections to each of these places that you've coached at. And then also CU, like seeing some of this, being in that environment, frankly, facing what's been some form of pain, head on.
Yeah.
BJ, you mentioned that to me last night, just tipping your cap to me for being able to just face it head on. And, I was a head coach literally 1 year ago. That was a family weekend. So basically parents come and sit with their kids at, in the student section. And that game was my first game as the interim head coach a year ago against Cal. And similar theatrics in terms of the end of the game came down to a Montana Lamonius Craig touchdown that was actually overturned from incomplete and turned into a completion, just a remarkable catch. And then last night was frankly just a really challenging moment for all Buff faithful. So, but I've never personally, BJ, I've never seen a 29-point deficit at halftime, and obviously it ended up being the biggest back victory in the history of Stanford's program. And
fourth biggest ever in the Pac-12.
And then it was the biggest blown lead by CU in the history of the program. And everybody right now, I mean, you either love Coach Prime, you hate Coach Prime, or you're sick of all the coverage.
Yeah.
But let's just be honest. We watch. Like, everybody's watching Coach Prime, whether he's dominating like he did in the first half or whether the team loses in the second half. It makes for must-see TV. I mean, there's no doubt that it certainly does. And you felt it in the atmosphere last night. You could tell just the pomp and circumstance of the tailgate. What Coach Prime's done at Colorado is obviously very impressive. But everybody's going to, all the haters on the side of Coach Prime are just going to hate on Coach Prime. I'm going to do something a lot different than that. How about the performance in the second half by that receiver, number 13? I can't even. I don't even. It's his name's Elik Ayamanor.
13 catches, 294 yards, 3 touchdowns.
And then how about the other piece that I felt very similar to the Boise State element versus last week against San Jose State? They started the game off with 2 quarterbacks playing.
Yep.
And Stanford just looked out of sorts. It was abysmal. I looked at you and I said that this team wouldn't win 3 games. The Stanford team wouldn't win 3 games in the Mountain West Conference. Like, no chance.
Yep.
But they were juggling quarterbacks. They went back and forth. Ashton Daniels, number 14, who ended up finishing the game, was clearly their starting quarterback going into the season.
He threw some nice balls.
He was outstanding.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't just throw some nice balls. He ran the ball in the second half. He threw some incredible balls, through the slant pattern. Yeah. Like, it was almost like the slant just was invented last night at Folsom Field because there was no answer for it.
But nothing beats that touchdown where he took the ball, pinned it to his back and his neck and pulled it. That was incredible, man.
Yeah, Elik Ayamanor. I apologize.
We'll go with it.
Yeah. I know how to say, is it Ahmed Hassanin?
There you go.
See, I know that one.
You're working on it. On it. Awesome time last night. And give this guy credit, man. I told you last night, but you're walking through the tailgate. You're walking through. I even saw you clapping a little bit on a nice catch. I mean, the way it went down for you, man, that was tough. And I think it says a lot about you that you're willing to walk around there and show your face. And you saw some old friends. There were a couple people doing double takes. One guy going into the bathroom, he's holding the door for you. You're like, go ahead. He's like, no, you go ahead. And then after you walked in, he did the, was that Mike Sanford? So, but it was a great time. Loved it. Somebody asked about the game day atmosphere. Somebody says I need some coffee. I got a rain here, so we're going to make it work. This is one of probably 2 or 3 I'm going to have today. But is that the Bronco Brew coffee, by the way?
Yeah, Bronco Brew coffee.
We forgot to bring that we were going to talk about Bronco Brew, and we forgot to bring the actual bag. But
well, you were greeted yesterday. Gave you a tour of the house, and right there in front of my coffee maker, you have two fresh bags of Bronco Brew coffee. Drinking it this morning. No better way to start your game day than with Bronco Brew coffee, which
Bronco Brew
supports
coffee.
the NIL collective.
It does, and I'll go ahead and give them a quick love here. Bronco Brew coffee. Order now. BroncoBrew.com. Supporting Boise State athletics with every sip. A portion of the money goes to the NIL game at Boise State. Most of the proceeds, in fact. So you can actually choose which athlete you want to donate the money to. They get a couple bucks from every bag of coffee. And Mike, I know the cool thing is once you sign up for the subscription, they literally will just mail you a fresh bag every week, and you're getting fresh coffee that it's roasted to order. So they don't roast it until you order it, and within 3 or 4 days of it being roasted, even here in Colorado, it's showing up at your doorstep.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I showed you a bag that sat in my mailbox for 3 days, and the born on date when it was roasted was still like 6 days prior to when I cracked it open. So they're getting it to you in real time. And what I would say is for nights like we had last night, these college football nights where you're up till 2-3 in the morning watching Pac-12 after dark or Mountain West after dark, there's nothing more than you need than to make sure your Bronco Brew coffee is ready to roll in the morning.
It helps Boise State, but it also tastes, it's good.
It's fantastic.
Yes, so check it out, BroncoBrew.coffee, and we're glad to have them on board as a sponsor. Obviously, most people watching this because of the Boise State-Colorado State game tonight. A little earlier start today, as we said. You got the big doubleheader with the softball team today. And so we wanted to go ahead and get it out here. And actually, we've had pretty good success. I know some folks would like to see the warm-ups, would like to get the last-minute injury updates. We'll still get you that on our social media channels. Make sure you're following Bronco Nation News and myself on social media. But it actually works better. And throughout the day, people that can't watch it, live can kind of fit it in throughout the day. Not until 7:55 tonight. Crazy to think about right now. We're 11 hours from kickoff or whatever it is. But May need a couple more of the Bronco Brew coffees to get us through the day, but I think it's working out okay. It's kind of a weird time for a quote pregame show at 8:30 in the morning, but then all day you can watch it whenever, and we appreciate everybody for jumping in with that. Let's see here. Morning, fellas. How's the Rams' new stadium? Well, we'll find out when we get there. Did you get to hang out with Andrew Luck? Somebody's asking you. No, we didn't see him.
Yeah, we were actually in the gentleman that built our house and the family that built our house out here in Colorado. We were up in their suite on the 600 level, which is just spectacular. It's essentially the millionaires row of Colorado football. And we didn't have a lot of access actually to other parts of the stadium. I even heard that Jeremiah Dickey was at the game.
Yeah. Someone asked if we connected with him. We tried to connect. They wouldn't let him into our area. We couldn't get into his area. So hopefully we can connect tonight at the game. You're taking the family tonight.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, BJ, just like, I'm getting chills right now just thinking about having a chance, not only to have a chance to be a fan of Boise State in person, and then also do it right here next to my home here in Colorado. But just to think about my son Griffin he's literally in full pads right now.
Before the show is over, we need to have your wife get him down here to make an appearance before the show ends.
Yeah. So Anne-Marie, if you're listening on the YouTube channel,
bring him down here.
We need a Bronco Brew coffee bag, and we need Griffin delivered.
Yes.
We need Griffin Sanford full pack jack.
Yes.
As Coach Dan Hawkins used to say when we had a full pad practice at 9 a.m. during 2 days, he'd say, "Full pack jack at 9 bells, baby." So we need Griffin Sanford full pack jack.
You sent him down to wake me up. I'm in the nice guest house here, and I was already awake. But you're knocking on the door, and I look, and there's some dude in full pads standing outside the door at 7:45
with his brand new Boise State jersey.
The blue and orange store, right?
Blue and orange store.
There you go.
They came through. I was nervous. I ordered on Monday just to get our entire family. I mean, shoot, kids' sizes are changing every day.
Yeah.
So I got them all decked out with Boise State stuff, and I'm gonna be sitting in the CSU section because one of my really good friends, a local partner of mine, is hooking me up with 50-yard line seats about 7 rows up. So I asked him beforehand, I'm like, are you sure you're okay with us being decked out in blue and orange? And I'm like, it's going to be slightly obnoxious. She's like, absolutely, man. You're an alum. You've coached there. It's near and dear to your heart. So the Sanford family will be bundled up, but
you're living large, man.
Decked out in blue and orange.
You're doing all right, man. You're in the suite last night. You're 50-yard line, 7th row tonight. And you're going to watch the game with the fam, and then you're going to stick around and do the post-game show with me up in the press box. So I'm really looking forward to that. The pregame's one thing, but to have instant analysis after the game, I think it's going to be awesome, because I'll tell you what, I put this on Twitter last night, but I learned more, and I felt I was pulling a John Mallory. I was asking some questions and stuff. But the insight that you had during the game, man, I have no doubt if you went in the box tonight and had to call the game, that it would be phenomenal, man. Some of the coverages and things you're seeing, you were getting frustrated that Stanford kept playing zone and the zone defense in the first half, and so what you analyze there from the 50-yard line, 7th row, and then bring to the post-game show after the game, I think is going to be can't-miss stuff. So it's going to be a late night. It is what it is. The game's probably not going to end till 11:30, and then we got to do the interviews. So we're probably not going on the air. Here we go. We got
a special guest right here.
Come on in,
Come on in right in front of this camera.
Get over here, man. Here we go.
Show him your whole get-up. He's got his football pads on. He's ready to go.
He's got the full.
And then show your Bronco Brew coffee right there.
There it is.
There we go, baby.
Give us flex for the camera here. Let's go. Oh, there we go. He's ready for game day.
Hey, I taught young Griffin the cheer here. He's going to have a chance to do it in person. So, hey, Griffin. Oh, man, the moment got too big for young Griffin Stanford. But so that wasn't staged, just so everybody knows.
Scoot over a little bit. So
that's all right. We got to leave a little room for the Holy Spirit.
We got the
but that wasn't staged. I woke up this morning after 3 hours and 45 minutes of sleep. And literally no hangover. I'm still in the middle of 75 hard, so I haven't had a sip of alcohol now in 58 days. Not that I'm counting. But 3 hours and 45 minutes of sleep. I'll wake up, and my 6-year-old with the mohawk, the Chuck Liddell mohawk, is literally in full pads, ready for Boise State game day. So we're not going to ease into this game, and we're hoping the Broncos and the offense and defense and special teams do the same thing and have a Griffin Sanford mentality as they take on this late kickoff here in Fort Collins.
But as I was saying, going to be a late night, but make plans to stick with us. join us live after the game. It'll be 30, 45 minutes. It's usually a little faster on the road. We'll get Andy and the players quickly, and then we'll get up to the box and get started as soon as we can. And looking forward to that. So stick with us. We'll get the coverage going around midnight probably. And we were up late last night. We'll do it again tonight. Why not? And hopefully for Boise State fans, talking about a win, because they obviously really need one tonight. And they've played super well. The story, you can go read it at BroncoNationNews.com. I was looking at some of the stats, but I mean, they're 19-1 in their last 20 Mountain West road games. And, you can say what you want, but going on the road in conference play, never an easy thing, Mike. And going back to, I think it's 2018, start of 2018, last 4 or 5 years, 19-1 on the road in conference play. And that's kind of the formula. Take care of, if you can steal some of those road wins, obviously for the most part, they play well at home. That's how you find yourself in the championship game, winning on the road. And they've done that the last 5 years. And you go back to 2011, the first year they joined the Mountain West, they're 40-8 all time on the road in Mountain West play. And so for whatever reason, man, they've gone on the road. They've found ways to win. And oh, by the way, they're 12-0 all time against Colorado State. They've never lost to Colorado State. They've played them 12 years in a row here, and they've won all 12.
Yeah, and BJ, I think all the superlatives add up in Boise State's favor. But I mean, let's just be honest. As we've seen this season, I think some of the historical perspectives that we take going into games just aren't very relevant. And I'm not saying anything about necessarily the state of this team, but truly every season, every team takes on a life of its own. And I think this Boise State team this season, has proven to play a lot of tight ball games. And so you could see that, the all-time record against CSU, you could see the all-time road record. I think this is going to be a very similar game. And I said it to you on the drive home last night at 1:30 a.m. For coming back from Folsom Field and watching a historical game, at Folsom Field. I think that this game today is going to feel very similar with regards to just the tension that's going to exist in the fourth quarter. This is not going to be a blowout. I think it's a very unique game because it pits, I think, what the perceived weaknesses of CSU is a horrible run game.
Yeah.
I mean, their top two leading rushers average 2.6 and 2.8 yards per carry for the Golden Rams against a very strong Boise State rush defense. But on the flip side, this, I think it's fourth game starter in Braden Fowler-Nicolosi for CSU. I mean, this is a wealth of talent at receiver that CSU has against the very perceived weakness of Boise State in their pass defense. It's going to be very, very interesting. I think that this is going to be a very high scoring game. I think CSU plays opportunistic defense. I've followed this team very closely. I live 45 minutes away, as we've said. This game is not going to be a walk in the park. So throw away all the superlatives tonight. Throw away all the records that exist. And I'd say that this is going to be must-see TV for 4 quarters. And if you think that either CSU gets off to a hot start and the world's coming to an end, after the first quarter or two, just stay tuned, because last night's proof that anything can happen in any given Saturday. And that's, I think, what's going to happen today is it's going to be an unbelievable football game.
Well, we got a lot more still to get to. I want to continue your discussion on the pass defense for Boise State and what we saw in that second half against San Jose. If they can carry that over this week, I want to get into the 2-quarterback system. You mentioned Stanford. We saw it in person last night. They stuck with the guy in the second half, and lo and behold, they got it going. So I want to see your thoughts on what's going to happen today, or tonight, I guess, with the 2-quarterback system. So get your comments in. If you got a question for Mike on a game day, we're happy to answer that here in the YouTube chat. We got about 30 minutes or so left, and we'll happy to do that for you. But first, going to take a quick 90-second timeout. Thanks to some of our sponsors. Get your questions in, your comments in. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 90 seconds, live from Mike Sanford's couch here in Colorado. It's the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show on Bronco Nation News. We'll be right back. 90 seconds.
All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of premix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com.
All right, Mike, we saw the let's stick with the defense because you mentioned that. We saw that, second half was incredible, the shutout. But is it sustainable? I mean, what they did in the second half, first half, it's 27-7 at one point, 27-14 at half. They get 27 points, all these yards, and it was a low point. There were a lot of people wanting Spencer Danielson fired, wanting Andy Avalos fired. I mean, you know how social media is. A lot of people on this chat were probably wanting that. And we'll get to the quarterbacks, here in a little bit. But I want to stick with the defense for a few minutes here. What do you make just about what we saw in the second half? What changed? Is that sustainable? And then, with knowing, from the Boise State side, you also mentioned that there's not one, not two, but three pretty talented receivers. They're going to have to go up. I mean, that's going to be a pretty tough matchup and a key matchup in this game. Boise State's corners and secondary up against that passing game of Colorado State.
You and I go back to last night, and you remember early missed tackles from Stanford. And, of course, everybody looks at missed tackles and they immediately say, we've got to tackle better. We've got to tackle better. But what did I say to you, BJ, last night about just why the missed tackles are there in droves in relative to last night's game?
Because of the space. When they get in space, they work in space. There's a lot of one-on-one tackles, and that makes it harder.
Yeah, so ultimately, schematically. See,
I'm smart about football. I sat next to Mike Sanford, now I'm smart about football.
So a lot of times we see a missed tackle as a fan. I even see missed tackles, and it's cringy, right? But some of it is also schematically. When you leave the middle of the field wide open, per se, or the flats are wide open, and you create a separation of about 8 to 10 yards before the first would-be tackler in open field space, and a lot of times that's the scheme. Oftentimes you're putting that one-on-one tackler in a horrible compromising position. And I think that's the key to tonight. This is an air raid offense for Colorado State, and you cannot give them easy completions. You cannot give Braden Fowler-Nicolosi the opportunity to get in rhythm early. And how do you do that? You take away just easy free access type throws, those easy completion plays. You make sure you anchor down the middle of the field, and then you got to keep the secondary top down with regards to giving up the deep balls, over especially the post throws, the deep seam throws, because if we allow schematically for them to have a lot of space against zone coverage looks, it's going to be a long night. I'm just telling you like it is, because this receiving core really featuring Torrey Horton, they're 3-4 deep. With what I believe is not just the best receiving core. Physically, you're going to look at these guys in warmups and you're going to be blown away. I've seen them personally in person, and you're going to be blown away by their size, their athleticism. But if we don't take away the easy completions early in this game, it's going to be a tough day at the office. You got to make Braden Fowler-Nicolosi fit balls into tight windows, and then we can rally to the catch point and get the tackles if he makes the throws.
Bill says the Boise faithful in Fort Collins are assembling at Brothers Bar, 147 South Collins. Joel York also from the Blue Collar Club saying they'll be there as well, rallying with the alumni. So if you're in the area going to the game, maybe meet up with folks over at Brothers Bar in Fort Collins. And who knows, you may see me. I'm looking for a spot to watch that Kansas-Oklahoma State game at 1:30. Maybe I'll have to sneak over there. Devo Bronk, do we have an injury unavailable players list yet? No, we don't get that till about an hour before the game. Guessing no DJ Schramm again, though, just based on what we've seen. I'm guessing no George Helani, but I do think he's getting a lot closer. Mike, when you have the bye week coming up and you can either push some guys or try to have that one more week or 2 more weeks essentially with the bye week and have them ready to go for a tough stretch after the bye week. You got Wyoming and Fresno State, 2 games that probably will decide whether or not you're in the championship game right after the bye. For a guy like George Helani, maybe there's a little temptation to try it if he could play, maybe try to get him back. But as a coach, when you have that bye week coming up, sometimes a little safer to give them those extra 2 weeks?
I personally, I think you go complete all hands on deck insofar as they have medical clearance. These players are obviously getting doctors' advice with regards to full clearance, partial clearance. If there's partial clearance, you have to go in this game, all hands on deck. One player that has caught my eye to pivot very quickly over the course of the last 2-3 weeks on the defensive side of the ball is Shea Oladipo. Shea is a player that is from here in the state of Colorado.
Yes.
And he's coming home. He gets to come back to his home state. I think that just his presence in the defensive backfield, his playing time continues to increase. He's becoming a playmaker. He's a very good tackler. I look for Shea Oladipo to be a humongous piece of the puzzle tonight, to have some hometown pride, some home state pride, play in front of a ton of people. It'll probably be 25, 30 people that come from his family and friends group and his high school program. So it's going to be really fun to watch him play tonight. And I think he's going to be a key to this victory for Boise State. And back to your point about the bye week coming up, when you as a coach have that bye week to back you after that game, you really see it, especially the situation that Boise State's in. Let's just call it like it is, an absolutely horrific nightmare of a non-conference start to the season, but a fantastic start to Mountain West Conference play.
Yeah.
And something's going to give down in Colorado Springs today with Wyoming playing Air Force. You have a chance to be at or near and to be in the driver's seat in this conference if you can find a way to just finish this game, whatever it looks like, with a win here at Fort Collins.
Yeah, Fresno State got the win, close game last night in Logan. They won that game by 5, and Utah State had a late drive. Didn't see it. We were at the game, obviously, in Boulder, but read about it. But Fresno State hangs on, but they have the loss already to Wyoming, so they've got one loss. And then somebody has to lose tonight, either Wyoming or Air Force. One of them is going to have a loss. Air Force, a big favorite, like 10 points, hosting Wyoming there. So theoretically, Air Force, Boise State could be the only undefeated teams. Or I don't know if they're trying to think if there's anybody else that we don't expect anybody. I think that'd be it already at this point in the season. But they obviously play each other. But going down to that last game of the regular season, Air Force coming to the blue could decide a lot as we thought it could. So hey, I know some fans don't like to hear it, that the early season struggles, the 3 losses in non-con play, but there is that switch you flip once you get into conference play, and you kind of get a new life, new season, so to speak. You get a chance to still play for something, and hey. By the way, I know we said for a while we thought, it's going to be Colorado. I don't know if Colorado's getting to 6 wins now because they got a tough schedule. And I know some fans were like, let's play them in the LA Bowl, which I'm not sure how good of a matchup that would be for Boise State pass secondary after what we saw yesterday. But winning the Mountain West, getting to go play in the LA Bowl at SoFi Stadium. I mean, yeah, that's not the playoff, but that's, not a terrible consolation prize. And I was, people think I'm crazy, but I mean, who else out there in the group of 5 is really dominating? So if you go on some run and you get a win over a ranked, Fresno or Wyoming, and you beat Air Force and you got some quality wins here, and you're, in a dream scenario on a huge 7 or 8 game winning streak, and you're 10-3 after winning the championship, like there's only 4 other teams that are competing for that spot. So, I mean, I'm not saying Boise State's going to get the New Year's 6, but I'm just saying like crazier things have happened. So keep winning. See what else happens with the carnage elsewhere, and you never know.
Yeah, I think Tulane had a statement win last night. 5-1 on the season. Barely lost to Mizzou, I believe, earlier in the season, but they were missing their quarterback, Michael Pratt. Tulane, I think, is the only team that I see right now, BJ, that's not in the Mountain West Conference that could vie for that New Year's 6 spot. I just think that currently in the driver's seat right now for that New Year's 6 spot is Air Force. But the reality of Air Force,
which would be awesome, by the way.
It would be incredible. And I cover here locally in the state of Colorado in the Denver market with Altitude Radio, and then also with NBC 9 News. I talk a lot about both CSU, CU, of course, and then Air Force. For Air Force to have an opportunity to be the first ever service academy to represent in a New Year's 6 bowl game would be a tremendous storyline. But as a Bronco fan, as a Boise State fan, it's tough to say that I'm a Denver Bronco fan right now. That's an absolute hot garbage, as Coach Prime would call it. But as a Boise State fan, if Boise State controls their destiny and sets up that marquee matchup in the end of the season, 2 decades of Mountain West coaching, starting my career at UNLV, like Air Force is an unbelievable home team when they're playing with somebody else attacking their literal Air Force base in Colorado Springs.
Yep.
They're unbelievable at home, but it's a house of horrors on the road for Air Force's program, and it has been for a long time. That's because in the service academies, you get out of your routine that you are so firmly established when you're in your home base. Literally, you go on the road and you don't have those same discipline, the same piece. It's like a vacation for those cadets to go on the road. You don't have a drill sergeant barking at you first thing in the morning. Don't think that doesn't extend to the football players on Friday, the day before a game. But then when you go on the road, man, it's a different story. So the critical game for Boise State, it's truly a one-game season, is this game against CSU. And if you think that Boise State's just going to beat CSU by 21 points solely because that's kind of what's happened historically, we all know this season we've learned our lessons. This is a unique Boise State team. I do believe that second half last week against San Jose State was a turning point for this defense, was a turning point for Talon Green. And I think that Talon Green took this and ran with this. And I think it's going to be a really interesting game tonight.
We're going to get to the quarterbacks here in just a second. Mark Moss asking what's in my reign, because he's saying I'm crazy talk for saying that Boise State's still somewhat alive in the near 6 category. I've been known to mask a drink or two inside of a different can, but right now this is a straight reign. You saw me crack it open. He says, "Oh, and Kansas could still play for a national title." Hey, if we win it, we could.
No, you can't.
If we run it, if we run the table,
what's your record?
5-1.
Yeah, with an awful non-conference schedule. And a 3-loss SEC team would get the bid over Kansas. And I love
we
you, man.
beat Illinois. We went on the road. We went on the road.
Illinois is a dumpster fire right now.
We won in Reno. We've already got
Reno, man. What a quality victory. And eking one out right there in Reno against what I think is literally the worst group of 5 team in college football.
148 South College. Bill had the address wrong. So 147 South College. If you're at Brothers, look it up if you want to go in Fort Collins and hang out and check out and meet up with some other Boise State fans. And make sure you come say hi to Mike Sanford as well. He just told you he's going to be at the 50-yard line, 7th row. We want to come. We want some pictures, man. I want to see some stuff on social media. Maybe a hashtag like "Where's Mike" or something, and try to find Mike Sanford, get a photo with him. I assume that's all right if folks want to come meet you and say hello and get a photo. I want to talk quarterbacks though. Talon Green, what do we expect from him today? Keep the questions coming. Keep the comments rolling. Don't go anywhere. 90-second break. We're talking Talon Green next here on the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. Mike Sanford's couch here in Colorado. We'll be right back.
Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at TacoBellWorks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Talon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at LithiaFordBoise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com.
All right, continuing along from, I say it's your couch. It's your guest house couch, man. You got an incredible home here. Appreciate you for letting me crash. I said, I'm fine staying at a hotel. I mean, BNN's doing okay. We got money for a hotel. You're like, nope, not happening. You got to crash here at the house. And Anne-Marie, your wife, your kids, it's been great. We went out and had lunch yesterday and having a lot of fun. So I really appreciate you guys letting me hang here, man. It's been it's been a lot of fun so far, man.
Yeah.
Typical road trip. I sit in a hotel by myself on these games and just do my thing and watch watch some games and whatever. But you're showing me the town. We saw the game last night. We're having a lot of fun here, man. So I appreciate
Even
it.
got some good barbecue in my hometown.
We did, man.
Georgia boys.
We did.
Georgia boys right here in my hometown here. But yeah, hey, BJ, to be honest, like when I heard, obviously I knew you were coming to this area, and I truly do these things, whether it be coaching, even softball coaching. Like I do these things because of relationships. And it's just really fun to be able to connect and touch base. I mean, I don't think you and I have spent a lot of time together in the last 10 years outside of some press conferences when I was the OC at Boise State. So it's been really fun to connect on a little bit more of a personal level. And
this guy's the real deal, man. He's not fake or phony. He's the real deal, man. He's a legitimately good person. So
you are too.
You, man.
You are too. This guy right here, even though sometimes I hated some of his tweets in 2014 when we started out 2-2, man, I wanted to freaking punch. I wanted to put this guy right through there.
We should go find the old tweets from the Air Force game after all those turnovers.
Yeah, hey, I'm telling you, it's a house of horrors in Colorado Springs. I think Wyoming's going to see that firsthand.
Let's talk quarterbacks, man, because I know you got your daughter's softball games, and you're retooling the lineup. You got to get them out there running some extra sprints here, getting them ready pregame, big tournament going on. But what we saw from Taylon Green, it was a turning point. I didn't think he was going to get a chance. I thought Maddox Madsen at halftime, I said, you know what? I don't think Taylon Green got a fair shot, but I said, I think you have to let Maddox Madsen finish this game now. And he did, and they started to do some things a little bit, but then they gave Taylon Green a chance, and he took advantage of it. Now, having Ashton Genty run that 68-yard run to start that one drive was huge. He had the long completion to McAllister. But either way, he orchestrated some touchdown drives there and played well. And Andy came out this week and said, he is our starter. He's the focal point of our offense, and then we'll kind of complement that with Maddox Madsen. So I personally am expecting Taylon Green to get more snaps, the majority of the snaps. I'm gonna go like 80-20 maybe. Mm-hmm. I think Taylon Green in my opinion plays the majority of this game. I think last week they were kind of feeling out this 2 QB thing, when to switch guys in and out. But personally, I think they use Maddox, and not that Maddox Madsen did anything wrong. I just personally think that Taylon Green is still an exciting talent that needs to be on the field for the majority of the snaps. So if you can complement that here on a certain play where you think you have a better chance with Maddox, fine. But I don't expect giving Maddox Madsen. He'll get the third drive. That's fine. Maybe some other plays here and there, but I don't expect him to get multiple consecutive drives, especially in the second half, unless it's like a blowout or something. But what do you make of what you saw from the 2 QB system and what you expect to see today? Yeah, I mean, we broke down on Ball Talk on Monday night, and I didn't really learn much from it relative to how the 2 QB system is going to work for this Boise State team. It worked ultimately to win the football game, but where I saw the value of the 2 quarterback system is I saw a second half Taylon Green that we haven't seen since last season, which is beast mode Taylon Green. Like, you looked and you saw in his disposition and in his eyes a Taylon Green that I haven't seen through the first, 6 games of the season. Yeah. I saw an inspired Taylon Green. I saw a Taylon Green that his teammates came to his back when he was playing with that type of vigor and that fire. And I think that's the best benefit of Maddox Madsen kind of knocking on the door is to just release and unleash that beast mode that we saw in Taylon Green. I have always been a humongous fan of Taylon Green's because of his physical attributes, and the combination of how he ran the football in that second half against San Jose State and then against San Diego State, several weeks prior, and then combined with the post throw that he made to Eric McAllister, for an explosive touchdown. I think that's the key to this offense, is having an inspired beast mode version of Taylon Green. And I get to see it for the first time in person today. And I'm so excited about it because I just love his physical attributes. And then when it's combined just with that can't lose mentality, that will to win, you saw that in the second half. I think we're going to see that today. But this game's not going to be an easy game. And I can promise you that. And if on Monday, we come back and Boise State wins 45-14, hey, I'll eat crow. But I do see that this is a very, very good CSU roster that's building. Yeah. And they're looking for a signature win, and they've been knocking on the door. Did it against CSU, the CSU-CU game, but didn't finish. Went to Middle Tennessee State, not necessarily a signature win, but today would be the signature win. And I have a lot of really good friends that work up at CSU. Kyle Neves, the sports information director, let me know that this is really close to being a sellout game at Canvas Stadium. So I wouldn't want it any other way. Yeah.
my first time at Canvas Stadium. So I'll report on about that experience on Monday. And before I get off, BJ, first of all, Bronco Nation,
we're not ending the show. I'm going to keep it going a little bit longer, but Mike does have to go in a couple minutes.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Unbelievable viewership this morning for just a kind of a weird hour for an 8 o'clock kick time. And I hope to see all of you that are there, tonight in Fort Collins. And I'd love to meet you. Love to shake your hand. My wife and kids will be with us, and we love this fan base. We love this program. We love Boise. It's home for us. It feels like home, and we have a lot of connections in Boise. So we really look forward to having a chance to be fans with you. It's my first time, and it really forever. So I'm really excited to meet you all, and please come and say hello. And I'm excited for that.
But you're going to see two out of the next 4 games in person. Because we've kind of talked about it or joked around, whatever. But we can officially say the plane tickets are bought, the hotel is booked, the rental car is booked. Mike Sanford and his wife Anne Marie coming to Boise. The return, we're working on some cool stuff, but behind the scenes. But we are really looking forward to it on November 11th weekend for the New Mexico game. Wish it was a little bit bigger game for you. We'll see what the atmosphere will be like.
BJ, I told you got to throw out the superlatives of past years.
Okay.
Every game's a big game this season. I mean that.
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying that. That's not coach speak.
Yes.
Tell me that you didn't think that Boise State was going to blow out San Jose State, before that game.
I felt pretty good about it. And I feel pretty good about tonight's game, too, for Boise State. But you've been, for the last 24 hours that we've been hanging out, you've been really trying to temper those expectations. You're saying that what Colorado State can do, particularly at wide receiver, really could give some problems to Boise State. But I did want to say November 11th weekend, New Mexico, you're coming back to Boise, you're going to the game, and we're going to get you with Coach Riddle on the pregame show over at the James and the postgame show. We're excited for that. We'll be you'll be in your Boise State gear, out on the patio at the James, hopefully having a libation or two. Your thing will be over. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make plans for the Wyoming game to get out to the James and come meet Coach Sanford. Pregame, postgame. We want a night game, but we don't want it to be too late. I'm hoping we can get it like a 5 or 6 o'clock and be done and
be glorious
there at a decent time.
It would be glorious.
A little worried we might be stuck with another 7:45 game. We'll find that out at some point here moving forward. But appreciate it, Mike. I know you got to get rolling. Any final words? By the way, Sky Ship is sitting in Fiji right now at 3 a.m. watching this. Can't miss it. We got folks watching from all over the world at this point. But we're going to keep it going. We got a lot to get to. I'm going to read some more of your comments and things. If you have any more questions or thoughts, if you want to get your score predictions in, we are giving away some gift cards. I've got a $50 gameplay to Topgolf. You want to go to Topgolf? I got a $50 gameplay for you. They want you to come to Brothers at 4:30 with the alumni and everybody. If you don't have the second softball game, that's your motivation. You win the
we win the first. The second game's at 1:30.
There you go.
And then the family goes and has a little pregame.
There you go.
I'll have a virgin Tito's and soda.
There you go.
That's my drink of choice during 75 hard. I literally order it, and the waitress or the bartender looks at me like I have 10 heads. I'm like, I'll have a virgin Tito's and soda with 2 limes. And they're like, wait, it doesn't make sense. No, it does make sense. It's like a virgin margarita. It's no different.
You said
sans alcohol.
You said you're down 20 pounds, man.
Yeah, down 19
That's
or something like that, 20. So
Matt says he'd like to see Mad Dog throw a pass to Talon. Any chance that we didn't get it last week? Any chance tonight they try to get that wrinkle in there where we at least, even if it's a handoff and the other guy's a decoy, to maybe at least get both QBs out there tonight for a play?
I'd love that. I think it'd be really fun. And even more so, I think it continues to bring that quarterback room together. And what we saw at the end of that San Jose State come from behind victory was we saw some synergy between Mad Dog and TG10, and it was really fun to watch that relationship. I think you could, Bush Hamden and this offensive staff can further unlock that relationship and actually do it on the field with both guys on the field at a time.
Yeah.
It's a great distraction to run the football. You throw Talon out there at receiver and hand the ball off to Genty. Don't think that they're not going to point him out.
Oh, yeah.
Out there at receiver, whether it be a double pass, whether it be a throw to TG10. But it certainly is a great disguise. I have no insider information. In fact, BJ, I told you, I haven't had any conversations this season with my old teammates. Just, to do this purely, to do this organically. I'm never going to try to be the guy that's working the back doors and the back channels of getting information and then airing it out here on BNN. So I'm excited to see.
That's what we hired you for. Come on, man.
No. Well, you didn't hire me.
That's true. Final thing, because I know you got to go, but in 20 seconds or less, Sky wants to know, how would you stop Torrey Horton?
I think you got to take away the free access throws. I think that you track Torrey Horton around the field with some form of bracket coverage. I think in critical downs on third down in the red zone, you got to play some form of press coverage and then, safety help over the top. I think that would free up Shea Oladipo for an interception, to give a disguise and then come over at the last second to help out. We saw some tremendous disguises in the second half from Stanford.
Yeah.
And Shedeur is having a hard time figuring that out. I think the same thing could hold true with Boise State's defense, and I think they have the schematics to do so. And I think it's going to be important to not allow Torrey Horton to get going. But unfortunately, BJ, and for Bronco Nation, Torrey Horton's not their only receiver. Trust me on that. They're about 4 deep with playmakers at the receiver position. I think that's probably the only team in the Mountain West Conference that does have that.
Well, go refill your coffee. Get ready to coach some softball. We appreciate you, man, for doing this, and we'll be seeing you over there at the stadium here in a little bit.
Hey, real quick,
yes.
Can I do a Saturday morning pregame show edition of the mic drop?
If I don't know if I have the graphic ready.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'll get out of the way.
It's pretty simple.
I'll get out of the way.
It's pretty simple. Hey, if you're watching and you've seen Ball Talk, mic drop, I just go on forever. I'm not going to do that. I just have one word to say to you. And in the chat box, at home, wherever you're at, I want you to respond accordingly. And I'm going to go coach some softball, and I'll see you tonight at Canvas Stadium. So with that, Boise!
We'll be right back in 90 seconds. Don't go anywhere.
You looking for a new job? Well, how about getting into the trucking industry? Our friends at Transportation Compliance Service can help you every step of the way, whether it's the big rig on your screen, the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, all the paperwork, all the things you need. Let them help you out. Transcomservice.com. They'll have you out there towing that first load in no time. Transcomservice.com. United Commercial Insurance makes business insurance easy. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Give them a call, 229-8222. Bronco Nation News, a proud client of United Commercial Insurance. We highly recommend you do as well at UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. The Raines family is happy to have made the switch to Boise Dentistry Co. Highly recommend you do as well. Dr. Miner and his staff, full family dentistry for the whole family. They make it an enjoyable experience to go to the dentist, and we highly recommend you check them out. 5 locations in the Treasure Valley. You may think you're happy with your dentist. You'll be even happier if you make the switch to Dr. Miner and Company. Check them out online, BoiseDentistryCo.com. The pounds continue to fall off, and it's thanks to Dave and our friends over at Lean Feast. Check them out, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Full customizable meal prep. You want to go into the store, pick out your meals individually. That's great. It's right there on Eagle Road in Meridian. Or you can do it all online at leanfeast.com/Meridian, and they'll deliver it to you. 208-487-5782. They're feeding the football team, the basketball team, Taylon Green, Ashton Genty, Tyson Degenhart, and more. Check them out. Lean Feast, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Still time to get that fall round of golf in, and you need to do it at Timberstone Golf Course out in Caldwell. Book a tee time at playtimberstone.com. The best greens in the valley, new technology, new golf carts, friendly environment, fun, challenging course. Check them out, Timberstone Golf Course. Book your tee time today, and I'll see you out there. Playtimberstone.com.
Hey, how we going? We're back. Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. Mike Sanford going to coach some softball. We got a little bit of time left, though. I understand if you don't want to hear me talk and you got other stuff to do and want to jump off. No offense taken, but we do have some of your comments and questions we'll still get to for a few more minutes here as we wrap up the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. Again, appreciate Mike Sanford for joining us on a busy morning for him. And we could have done this over at the stadium, but he wouldn't have been able to join us. And so I thought the trade-off of having Mike on here was worth it doing it earlier in the day. And then folks that didn't see this live, you'll get a chance, or they'll get a chance to watch this throughout the day. So if you're watching this live, we appreciate you. If you missed this live, but you're watching this on tape delay in the 10, 11 hours as we get closer to kickoff, then we appreciate you for watching as well. Dayton Robinson in the ICCU YouTube chat. Wyoming kick announced tomorrow. That'll be Monday. Late morning, early afternoon, we'll find out the Wyoming kick time. That will come out on Monday. Hoping for 5 or 6 o'clock. I think it'd be 5 o'clock, hoping for it. But it wouldn't surprise me if it's a little bit later than that. But, Wyoming playing very well. If they were to beat Air Force tonight, that might make that a little more of a primetime game. So, keep that. By the way, they're showing the most dangerous one-loss team on game day. I'm watching this on delay. How are my Jayhawks not? I guess this is all Pac-12 teams. Okay. But come on, give the Jayhawks some love here. A big game against Oklahoma State today. But Monday, the kickoff will be out for the Wyoming game, and we will let you know on that on Monday. It's the bye week next week, so they're not doing the press conference. I think they are going to do some media maybe on Wednesday, but heads up, no press conference going on next week as well. A lot of the Boise State chants coming in, so we appreciate you. And again, I appreciate Mike for squeezing us in here. Ryan's got 42-31. Boise State 73 points scored in this game. Ryan's got a lot of points in this one. I don't know if I quite think it's going to be that high, but I think that, I like Boise State in this game tonight. I know Mike's a little bit nervous, just thinks that the Boise State's pass secondary could have some problems against Colorado State, and Colorado State is not a good rushing team. Boise State, has to take away the run, and then I think it's going to come down to that passing attack on defense. But I guess I'm taking the positive aside that what we saw in the second half against San Jose State can carry over against into this game today against Colorado State. So I think Taylon Green's going to play really well. I think he's going to get the majority of the snaps. I think he's going to get in a rhythm. I think Ashton Genty has another huge game tonight, and I like Boise State to win this game. They're 12-0 all-time against Colorado State, and they've won by an average of 44-22. The 12 times they've played, I added up. I'm bad at math, but I triple-checked it yesterday. 44-22 is the number that Boise State essentially doubling up Colorado State all time on the scoreboard over the past 12 meetings. So I think it's going to be that crazy, no, but something like 31-20 maybe. 31-20 sounds about right, maybe 34-24. I got Boise State winning this, covering the spread of 7.5, 8 points as well from our friends over at Circa Sports. So I like Boise State in this game. If you got a score prediction, get it in. Again, whoever's closest to the score prediction, I'll go ahead and give you a $50 game play at Topgolf. So $50 to Topgolf. I will come back at kickoff, and we'll check all the score predictions that are in there. So even if you're watching this on tape delay, get your score prediction in, and then they're time stamped so we can see when it came in. And as long as it came in before kickoff, whoever has the closest score prediction, we will give you a $50 gameplay card at Topgolf. So hopefully you guys will subscribe. We got some great content coming during the bye week next week. I'm really excited myself to be getting back to writing. So you're going to be stuck reading a lot more articles by me, by Mike Prater. We really appreciate everybody that has already subscribed. Our numbers continue to rise, and we got a lot of cool things in the works at Bronco Nation News, but it does take your support. So even though Mike Sanford's letting us crash at his house for free here, there's plane flights involved and meals and things and rental cars, and we were just in Vegas doing media days down there, and I had a lot of fun down there, by the way. Maybe I can play one of our if I can find one of our funny clips from media days. I wouldn't mind playing some of that because I thought that stuff was some of that stuff was just absolute gold with our friends down there at media days. Let's see here. Where's our guy, Richard Pitino? Richard Pitino called Leon Rice a baby. That was kind of a funny clip. Let's play that. Why not? We just had our coverage of media days. We're trying to push the media days coverage. What happened with the baseball team and New Mexico on the basketball side? Back in February, I guess it was, I asked Richard Pitino at Media Days. This is the kind of coverage you can go back and watch on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel.
I got to ask, Coach, just get it out of the way. We're getting all kinds of comments about it. What happened with the baseball team when you guys played?
Leon being a baby. I blame Leon. No, honestly, what happened was, so I'm walking down the ramp, and it was a close game. I don't know if we were winning or not. Leon was hot. Leon and I are friends, and I really, really like him. And he doesn't I guess he kind of gets on the refs a little bit, but he's not like this temperamental guy. So I'm like, what is wrong with you? And he's yelling at me about the baseball team. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I think our baseball team was outside of their locker room, which they should not have been. Now, to our defense, there's not a lot of room back there.
It's a pretty thin hallway.
It's a thin hallway. So, but our people should never had a team out there. It was an emotional game. So I tried to get Leon to be, hey, man, you guys are playing great. We're playing great. This is a fun game. But I totally get where he was coming from. I wouldn't have put the baseball team out there if I wanted to intimidate him. I'd probably go football or something like that. And
he was still hot 90 minutes later
after the game. I saw him, and now I was in a good mood because we won, but he was hot. But I can assure you nobody intentionally did it. But I do see anywhere you go, especially on the road, like you got to have a safe space. And I think our people own that for sure.
We had 16 live interviews down there in Las Vegas. That was just on the first day alone. So I guess it's 18 live interviews, over 4 hours of live coverage. So if you're a basketball fan of Boise State, but also the Mountain West, go check out our YouTube channel. All free broadcast, thanks to our great sponsors. And so go check out those interviews, those videos from Media Days. So we were in Vegas for a couple of days, came here now for the football game. But the one interview I wanted, and the whole interview is back on YouTube. You can go watch it. It was the only interview I truly cared about the entire time, was trying to figure out a way to get Mark Few and Leon Rice together for an interview, and we made it happen. I don't know how we did. We had to squeeze it in. It was a shorter interview than I would have liked. We got 13 minutes with them still. It was great. Leon Rice, Mark Few, best friends. And Leon Rice, which, by the way, when he said this, I thought he was kidding. I had not seen the poll yet, and St. Mary's was actually picked to win the WCC over Gonzaga. I didn't even know that was true. I thought Leon was just kidding with Mark Few. I mean, how could Gonzaga not be picked first to win the WCC? That's like San Diego State going to the championship game and someone not picking them to be first this year. I mean, I think Gonzaga should just be grandfathered in to first place until somebody beats them. But so I just assumed it was a joke and he was needling them, but it turns out it was true. St. Mary's was actually picked first to win the league, and Leon was giving his buddy Mark Few a little crap about it. Here was another funny exchange.
Good, yeah. I just heard the Zags were picked second. St. Mary's.
Yeah.
I love it.
You're more in tune to that stuff than I am.
No,
so,
not really.
yeah.
I just heard it, but because I don't think it's ever happened before. But
probably didn't happen when you were there, did it?
I don't think we did. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you never did they even have preseason poll? I don't know. I never paid attention to it. But
you don't even need me. I could just leave. You guys can talk for 10 minutes.
Well, we haven't caught up for a while.
Well, there's Leon Rice, Mark Few. Again, 13-minute interview. They just kind of were poking and prodding each other the whole interview. Go back and check that out on our YouTube channel at Bronco Nation News. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, our best content is on YouTube, so we ask you make the switch to YouTube, start watching our live shows there. That's where you can interact in the chat. If you're watching on Twitter, we cannot take your questions. I don't even see them pop up in the chat. I don't see them. So you may have great questions, great comments on Twitter, but I can't get to them. So if you want your voice to be heard, YouTube is the way to do that. In the ICCU YouTube chat there, you can chat with other folks back and forth and get the discussion rolling there. But again, $50 gameplay for whoever has the closest score prediction to Top Golf. And we would love your subscription. It's $50, and we still have the special running because I have a couple left. I have a couple Taco Bell gift cards, $20 to Taco Bell if you sign up for a subscription before this trip ends. So from now till kickoff, $50 one-time fee. You just pay $50. You're done for a full year. You get all of Mike Prater's columns exclusively, all of our content. We're going to have some subscriber-only shows moving forward too, and that's all going to be only for subscribers of Bronco Nation News. So there's a lot of value. You get a daily email. You get some other great content, and we would love it if you could afford it and help us out. $50 one-time fee. Use that promo code at the bottom of the screen, BNN50 deal. And then it's only $50, and we'll throw you a $20 gift card to Taco Bell. So you're talking $30 net loss for a year subscription of Bronco Nation News. And if you can't do the yearly one, $6.99 a month is an option as well. So we'd love to have you. So appreciate you guys for supporting our efforts and watching the show here. And we're having a lot of fun here in Colorado as we get set for the Boise State at Colorado State game tonight. Again, kickoff 7:55 p.m. I'm guessing it's probably going to be about 8 o'clock. I'm guessing the game is going to start on Fox Sports 2. Make sure you get Fox Sports 2 or be ready to have to find the app for Fox Sports 2 because there's another game at 5 o'clock that won't be over yet. Fox Sports 1 will join it in progress probably mid to late first quarter when that game ends, maybe after the first quarter, depending on how that game goes. So be prepared to have the game start on Fox Sports 2 tomorrow night. So or tonight, excuse me. Tomorrow night. Been a long 4 days already. I'm looking forward to getting back and seeing my wife and kids. My kids got another baseball game tomorrow. Trying to go to Adam Sandler tomorrow night, but don't have childcare yet for the kids. So I have some tickets to Adam Sandler tomorrow night and hoping to get back in time to go to that, but still working on childcare for the kids. But looking forward. It's been a long trip and having a great time. But my wife is the rock star watching our kids. They had no school Thursday, no school Friday, and she's watching them while trying to work from home the last couple of days. And they even had a sleepover with a friend last night. So appreciate my wife for holding down the fort for Team Reigns back there in Boise. And looking forward here, about 24 hours from now, getting ready to touch down. Going to be, I thought last night was a quick turnaround. We didn't get back till 2 a.m. and put all the stuff up, the banners and everything last night, and went to bed about 3 in the morning and got up at 7:30 to do the show here. But it may be a shorter turnaround tomorrow because we're going to be, or tonight to tomorrow, because we're going to be on the air till 1 or 2 in the morning. It's an hour drive back over to Mike's house, and then my flight leaves like 8 in the morning. So we may just stay up. Tonight and roll with it tomorrow. But it's been awesome, man. Love Colorado. Love the Sanford family, and appreciate them for letting me crash again. And again, we got stories online. We got videos online. Go check out BroncoNationNews.com. Got my game preview up. You can read that as well. Hopefully you guys will oh, Matt said he saw my wife and kids at Chick-fil-A yesterday. They seem to be doing well. Karen is a rock star. Well, there you go, Matt. Hopefully you said hello to Mrs. Raines. That would have been nice. But Kurt Blake saying have Prater babysit. No, I don't think that's probably the best idea. But we'll find somebody. We're working on that. But have a great day of college football. I'm looking forward to watching Kansas and Oklahoma State. As I said earlier, might make this a thing, might just be a temporary thing. I don't know. But the morning shows, we still had almost 100 people watching live at one point during the show, and then now this show has 10 hours to circulate on social media and get more views. So more views for our sponsors and things. It may end up working better for the future if we just continue to do it in the morning, and then we'll see though the rest of the season. But looking forward to it again after the game. It's going to be a late night, but make plans. Have that extra cup of coffee in the fourth quarter. You're not going to want to miss the instant analysis from Mike Sanford right after the game. He'll join me in the press box. We're actually going to be in the Boise State coaches box, ironically. We're going to get Mike Sanford back in the Boise State coaches box or the radio booth, one of those two places. Once they all leave, we kind of take over, and that's where we do our post-game shows, so we're not bugging people in the press box. So I got to get the interviews with Andy and the players, so it's going to take a little bit, but 30 to 45 minutes after the game ends, we'll get it rolling as quick as we can. Mike Sanford and I in the press box with the Lithia Florida Boise post-game show after the game tonight. Jim Sturk from Lithia Florida Boise is actually on the trip here as well, so shout out to Jim Sturk. Appreciate you at Lithia Ford. We appreciate all of our sponsors, Taco Bell, the Nicolason family, SON Management. You heard about them earlier, but we appreciate Taco Bell, what they're doing for Bronco Nation News. We were there last week for the pregame show. We're going to get back out there to the Taco Bell on Broadway again. And again, if you want that $20 gift card to Taco Bell, you got to sign up for that $50 subscription. $50, we give you the $20 gift card. $30 net is the net. So there, hopefully you will take advantage of that offer today, because I got 4 or 5 left that I would love to give away. I don't want to use the Taco Bell gift cards myself. I don't need to be eating any more Taco Bell. I want you to use it, although I do love me some Taco Bell, and I will be using some for the family. Love their breakfast. Really enjoyed that last week. Awesome food, but I want you to have the gift cards, and I want you to enjoy the Taco Bell, so make sure you subscribe and take advantage of our offer. So post-game show, Mike Sanford, myself, stay up late. Looking forward to that. And again, we'll have coverage, all the injury updates, the players getting off the bus, the warm-ups. I'll have all that on my Twitter feed at BJ Raines, at BNN Bronco Nation on Twitter as well. Make sure you're following us on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. YouTube's the big one, though. Down there in the corner of the screen, I think there's a little red subscribe button, like right there. Try to hit that, subscribe for us. We're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year if we can do it. We need about 650 more, I think it is. So jump on board, subscribe on YouTube. It's free. It's easy. All these shows are free. Again, thanks to all of our wonderful sponsors. You heard all about them, but the Blue and Orange Store, rowpaint.com, Lithia Ford, BVA, Tommy Alquist, the Nicolason family, Taco Bell. I mentioned Travis Hawks in the Blue and Orange Store. You got our man Jeff Minert and TCS, Transportation Compliance Service, all of our major sponsors. We truly appreciate them and all of our sponsors. United Commercial Insurance, Brandon Minert, they do a great job on that podcast with Matt, who's in the chat, by the way, as well. So make sure to check them out. But if you need business insurance, I already told you about him once, but check out United Commercial Insurance. Chris Minert, Boise Dentistry Co., we appreciate them as well. Ridley's Family Markets, Timberstone Golf Course, Matt Bauscher, all of our great sponsors. Could not have Bronco Nation News, could literally not be doing this live broadcast for free for you to watch on social media without the support of our sponsors. So please go support the sponsors. Please find it in your budget to subscribe if you can. $50, we'd really appreciate it as we continue to build this thing. And looking forward to a fun day of college football. and we'll culminate it tonight with Boise State and Colorado State. And again, the game's at 8 o'clock. We'll have full coverage starting at like 5:30 over from the stadium on all of our social media accounts, and then the live post-game show coming up about midnight or about 30 to 45 minutes after the game ends. Mike Sanford and myself in the press box with instant analysis on the Lithia Florida Boise post-game show. So make sure to stay up with us tonight, but if you can't, make sure you go back and watch it tomorrow. Looking forward to that. So should be a fun day of college football. Big game for Boise State. They really need this one. Try to stay undefeated in conference play and try to take some momentum into that bye week with a really brutal schedule coming up. Wyoming and Fresno State the first 2 weeks right after the bye. So they really cannot afford to lose this game if they want to be in the conference title race. So big game tonight. Going to be fun, and we'll have you covered, obviously, at Bronco Nation News. So we'll see you tonight over from Canvas Stadium. Enjoy the rest of your college football Saturday. We'll talk to you in a couple hours. Again, Boise State at Colorado State coming up on Fox Sports 1 around 7:55. It's probably going to start on Fox Sports 2, so be ready. Bronco Nation News will have you covered before, during, after the game. Follow us on social media. Go read BroncoNationNews.com, and we'll talk to you a little later from Canvas Stadium. Appreciate the Sanford family again for having me. From Mike Sanford's guest house, this is BJ Rains signing off for Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.